Someone else was asking about blues structures. The blues structure, before it got stuck with the electric blues of Muddy Water and those people into like 3 changes, 3-chord blues, had a lot of different variants to it. When the blues started out with W.C. Handy, who was way back then called the father of the blues, what he did was, he was from the Midwest, so he heard a lot of the different shouts, because it's a shout and answer thing. The blues really is what it is. And he took those, the shout and answer kind of thing, and he then put it into song forms of different things he heard. He sort of sophisticated, because he was a schooled musician. He was playing the organ, the piano, and the cornet. And he really wasn't a jazz individual, because he had a lot of fights with Jelly Roll Morton, different people here in New York about various things like that. But W.C. Handy sophisticated the blues and added what was going at the time, ragtime. So the original blues stuff, when it started out in the Memphis, Mississippi Delta, was more of a ragtime kind of a thing. It still had some of the 8 to the bar left in it from the ragtime, and it got that feel. That's why you have the, you know, like, now that's jazzing it. See, he probably played it, right? Which would be, probably when it started out with W.C. Handy, it was 8 to the bar. It wasn't jazz. You know, that's St. Louis Blues, which originally was written a few years before that, and it was called Joko Blues, and it was in ragtime form before they added the words to St. Louis and Blues and made it this one strain shorter. It had another strain in it before. He was with the Manhattan Minstrels, which was a minstrel group that he traveled with, and when they went to Cuba for 6 months and stayed over in Cuba, this was an all-black minstrel group, he picked up what was known back then as a habanera. And the habanera was an 8 to the bar rhythm that turned into the tango. The tango, 1, 2, ba da, ba da, ba da, ba. Well, the habanera was was 8 and had a little more inside accents to it, whatever. So in the center of St. Louis Blues, he has a habanero. Right? 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 So it had that 8 to the bar to it. Right? Now they play it. So here, 1 ta 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 ta. That dotted 8 to the 16th. That thing that's like 6/8. It's like 6/8 thrown into a 4/4 bar. Right? Right? But remember, it would have been originally it would have been in 8ths, as in ragtime. So I keep trying to show you the difference, and remember, ragtime is like rock and roll, or rock, and it's also like Latin. Salsa or any of the Latins are based on 8 to the bar, 8 beats in a bar. And as I say to the young people, that sounds fast. You see when it's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It sounds faster than if it's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's the same tempo. It's the exact same tempo, but they hear the double in it and they think it's twice as fast. but it's not. But that's one of the main reasons that jazz and 4 to the bar is out, because of the 8 to the bar feel that the youth want that goes with the other forms of music. So I was going to talk about some blues forms. Now, W.C. Handy, as I say, had other things in it. He not only had the 12-bar blues that we hear there, he also had that habanera thing in it. Right? He had that in it also. And so, if you take his tune, if you take his Hagers Blues, it's a little different. You see, he goes, "All Deacon's living, his flock was given the way of living right. Said he no ringing, watch, no ragtime singing tonight. Well, I've jumped at Haggard and shouted out with all her might, with all her might." You see, now that's not the form of your 12-bar blues. Now the second part is, except it has a thing that happens on the end of it. Ooh, there ain't no use in teaching. Ooh, there ain't no use in preaching. Each modulation of syncopation. Now watch. Just tell my feet to dance, but I can't refuse when I hear the melody they call the blues. Right? Now, he really goes out somewhere else, because he does a modern kind of thing, a very modern structure thing for the blues back in those days. And this is all on Ed Haggard's Children's Blues. So the third string goes, "You ought to see Ed Haggard, you ought to hear Ed Haggard's children harmonizing to that old mournful tune. It's like the choir from on high broke blues, oh yes. Now if the devil said it, the good Lord brought it right down to me. You gotta join that congregation while they're singing Ed Haggers Blues." You see, he has variants to these blues in there. And that variant has a lot of variants in it, because the second strain that we just did a minute ago, it went down from the F down to the D7. Oh, when I hear the melody they call the blues. It's still in that short form, but it just took the F and brought it down to D7 and cycled it by the cycle of fifths out, back to the F. But the last strain, he goes F, F7, B flat, B diminish, F, C7. That's just your augmented in your C7 or your D flat, C7, F. Then it's up to F. It's like A flat 7. From down to D flat. From on high broke G minor 7, which leads down. Remember the line going down to the C7. Now rather than go F, he goes F minor, the parallel minor. To the A flat, to the D flat, bo doo doo. Here comes the G minor down to the C7, and then back to the first part. Ba doo F F7, B flat, B diminished, C7, that Hag, D flat 7, Hagers, C7. D minor, F minor, F major, and he might go B flat minor and then F minor. That's just adding a tone color of D in the F minor chord. So that's what W.C. Handy originally did to the blues.